It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.Lou.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
What's good?
How are you?
You know what? I'm good. As usual. Productive week. We ain't too many times where we go into a week where we ain't do nothing. Had actually a good workout week. Went all 4 days. Got to burn.
Yeah.
I don't think I read anything. I can't remember me reading anything, but overall, very productive for me in terms of mental health, staying positive, studying Spanish. Not too much reading for me, but I cut it short. I'm doing all right.
I feel like, I think you always read The Tao or you finish with it.
Which one?
Is it The Tao, Bruce Lee
teachings?
teachings?
I'm done with that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Oh. 3 books down.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm good. I have my eyes on the prize. I'm ready to jump into this week. And yeah, it's
you sound exhausted.
We were running all day. Like it seemed like we started and we just kept going and
had a plan and it changed. It ended up being a 4-hour trip.
Right. Yeah. End up just talking and sharing information. It was good though. It was a good talk. And especially since we're on this quarantine thing, I mean, I felt like it was needed. It's always good when you have quality conversation and there's an exchange of knowledge and reaffirming of things that you were thinking and somebody else somewhere else like, yeah, I've been thinking about that too, you know? So that was really good. But I think when you start, we're learning the earlier you start, you look up and you're thinking it's later and then it's 12 in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And then you look up again and it's 4, but it just seems like, and then you have stuff to do on the back end. So it's just a long day. It's like, it'll be 10 p.m. here soon. So, sometimes we're up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So, it's just
whatever the day need.
Yeah. And I still have to read after this. I am reading What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And that's an interesting read. Some things I've already been in the process of implementing, and others it's just like, oh, okay, that's a different way of looking at it. So I only have maybe 6 more chapters to go, and we still have our The Truth About Men book to get back on together because
the dog.
Yeah, we stopped like in the middle of it and jumped over to the Hollywood Commandments, and then we jumped back. We treat the books like school. In school, you had multiple classes. So we kind of jump around, share a book between the kids sometime. I'll read some, pass it to them. Lou and I read together. So, yeah. So I'm ready to finish that book, but I'm good. Not too much on a check-in. Nothing I want to dive into like as a sidebar and get right into the meat and potatoes of everything.
Yeah, I don't have any sidebar stuff.
Not at all. Nothing. No aha or did you see or what about this or that. But so it's my turn and we're gonna discuss protecting your energy and distractions. That's something I find that I'm doing on a daily. And I think that when you're more aware of you needing to protect your energy and distractions, you can be more efficient at getting things done. I'm not feeling so depleted and exhausted and not knowing why you feel that way. You may have lent too much time to something or to someone and you're drained. And I think sometimes you may not realize you only have so much to give in the day. So protecting your mind, your time, and your energy is so important. You can get into an argument with somebody. It could be a full debate for 15 to 20 minutes and maybe shorter than that. But you walk away.
Depending on impact, huh?
Right. And you walk away and you're feeling like, I'm just done for the day. Everything else I had on the agenda, I'm just going to push it till tomorrow. But I don't even have the energy, to complete the rest of the stuff that I set out to do today. I don't have it in me. And it's that one thing that can kind of set you in that direction where you just don't have anything else to give. So just the first part we can jump into, but just protecting your energy. I am a victim of that. So many times I stick my nose into something and hear, or I'll see something going on and it's not even sticking my nose in it. It's just a matter of, wait a minute, that's not right. So I don't know if I would consider that sticking my nose in it, but it's just like lending my thoughts on it or feedback, unsolicited advice. Before I know it, 2 to 3 hours later,
3 hours later.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even understanding how I got there. I was just going to say this, do that, or I made it a point to put something on my to-do list and I wasn't even asked to. And I'm sidetracked. I'm depleted. I'm on E and I don't have any reserve. And it's like it's over with. I'm done for the day. So that can't happen. You have to protect your energy. It's so important, especially when you need to execute some things that are important to you. You got to be selfish in that area sometimes. Selfless is one thing when it comes to parenting and just assisting in so many ways. You wear so many hats as a parent, but sometimes you have to be selfish and protect your energy so that you can execute and be efficient and get some things done. And then you might want to circle back on that when in the event that your energy is like, or you're drained, you got your stuff done. You took care of your business. You don't feel like, man, why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Why did I engage in something that did not necessarily need my input?
Yeah, sometimes your input is needed because it assists them, or for me, it's just like, I have to say something about that, or, let's talk about what happened the other day. It's just, and I'm learning like, that's not the time. You need to do that on the back end. That's not really the priority. You could set aside a time maybe at the end of the day or just a time when you know that you don't have other things you're going to need a lot of energy for. I'm guilty of that. Protecting my energy and prioritizing the things I lend my energy to. Energy and time, I think, are synonymous. It's like the two go hand in hand. I lend my energy to it. That's my time as well. And I say, if you get me where my mind is like, I can't even think about anything else right now because I'm so done after that, or I'm so done with all. Even when we go to the gym now, I try to find slots where it's not a lot of people because it's like I want to get in, have as little interaction as possible, make it complicated, moving from machine to machine. So I try to be smart about it, because there's still a lot of energy in there. Get in, get out, and on to the next task. But yeah.
Well, one of the things I try to do myself in terms of protecting energy is I always keep the number 100 in my head. Kind of like a video game in a sense. You got a full energy bar. Your bar is at 100%. Every day you get 100%, and how you choose to use that 100% solely is up to you and how much you can get done with that. So depending on what it is you're doing, it obviously exerts certain amounts of energy, and only you know that. So one of the things I try to do for myself is, number one, you have to know where your energy bar is or where your cup is. Sometimes I feel like when you feel like you're getting depleted, it's probably because your energy bar is low. You might know that, but you think you can take on a task. And then when you end up taking on that task and it take more energy than what you expected, now whatever your task list is, you can't get that done. Like, it does help to have a to-do list, because obviously you do that very well where you write lists all over the place. I got to do this, that, and the other. And you know how much energy it takes to get certain tasks done. So going into the gym early in the morning, I mean, I don't know how much energy that takes, but let's just say you're exerting 30%. You got 70% left. Now you're running errands or paying bills or whatever, making phone calls, doing your meetings, with whether it's with me, Jair, Josiah, or another client. You gotta set aside some energy for that. But if you get into a mishap where it's like some random debate or something, that's like, and like I said, depending on how much energy is being exerted in that, you won't have anything else to give in those other task lists. And guess what happens? There's nothing wrong with rolling over your task list, but you don't want to get into a habit of doing that, because it's like, man, I got hit so hard, I'm depleted now. So learning to pick your battles and knowing what to give in that and knowing when to bow out. And I think you said you've been working on that, and I believe you've gotten better with that. That can help. So that goes for anybody. You have to know your energy bar. You got to know where you're at for as 100%, 70% and all that. And you got to know what you're willing to give in those particular tasks, even if it's an unexpected one. Now, obviously, it can be different for everybody because B is talking from an aspect of being a married woman with 2 children. Now, if you're single, you might have a whole different situation in terms of how your energy is being allocated via a kind of transitioning to maybe a distraction or something like that. When you don't have the stuff where you have kids or you're married, where you're committed to sharing some of your energy with the people that's in the house and it's just you may have a job that you go to where, your energy is being depleted or whatnot. So the only way I can think of protecting yourself in that, because everybody has different types of jobs and occupations, professions, etc. You have to come up with some kind of remedy before you even go into that place to protect it. Whether it's reading, praying, sage, I don't know, it's anything that gets you that extra boost. So when you're going in, you're not, and also having the right mindset, not going into your job saying, shit, I'm back in here again. Because now you are already going in there with a defeated mindset, and you can end up getting hit and one phone call or one customer away from blowing your top, and now the rest of your day is jacked up. Or you may not have that situation, but you have some stuff that you want to accomplish, but you get distracted with social media, looking at YouTube, Instagram, or whatever your vice is, watching movies all day when you could have got some other stuff done. Because that depletes energy a lot slower, obviously, because it's something you enjoy doing, but it's still depleting energy and you're wasting time, which equates to the distractions you were talking about. So I think it varies with the energy levels and stuff and how to protect your energy, because everybody is not married, but also everyone isn't single. So the strategies are kind of different for everybody, but I know you definitely have to go into each day knowing that you're starting your day off with 100%, and it helps to know what you are trying to accomplish that day. So already in your mind where you want to allocate your energy to. Because if you just going throughout your day and not knowing what you're doing throughout the day, that can be detrimental too. I always tell you all the time, like, I hate fucking planning because it don't never go the way I expect. But I'd rather have a plan in place to have my mindset on what I'm supposed to be doing if something comes up than not. So that also helps the energy levels for me particularly, or specifically.
Yeah, when you were saying that, I think married or single, I'm not going to say it's the same because it is different. I think that you are lending your time or your energy to different things. But we were all single at one point too,
Yep.
And I find it can be something as simple as a phone call. You see the phone ringing and you're supposed to go over here and get a couple of things done on the computer, or you need to go ahead and head out the door, or you need to get your mind fixed on taking care of some other things. And, the phone rings and you can see who's calling. And it's like, I really don't have the energy to lend to that right now.
I forgot about the phone.
Yeah. Or also I've had it to where, I have my clipboards where it's certain things I need to call on, where I have to get on the phone with customer service reps in regards to an investment or a bill. Why was I charged this, or what's going on with that? I have to, and I'm getting better, you have to actually prepare to deal with somebody else, because that can change everything. One phone call for me can change a lot of stuff, especially if it's not going to be something that's quick. Medical bills. You're billing me for this and I paid this and this is inaccurate. Now they have to go. Sometimes they can be quick, but I try to, especially if I'm already frustrated with it, it's already an issue. Like there's an overdraft charge here, or I need to get on the phone with these people. That phone can change your life. I've heard people call it the stress box. I love caller ID. I love that I have an option to let me call that person back later, or let me handle that later. Just making sure, and that's single or married, those are just people, a friend, a family member, someone that they can take, I call them vampires sometimes. They can take energy from you in a way where you get off the phone and you don't understand what happened. You really don't. They call and you have to kind of know what the intention of the call is. And like some people, I've been waiting for that call. But somebody call you and it's like, yeah, what you doing? And you start talking and you move, and the cell phones are the worst now, because before you could say, hey, I got to get up out of here, because you had a landline, a house phone.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get up out of here. I'll call you back when I get in.
You got that tracking device on.
Yeah, you getting in the car with that phone still, and they got the earpiece so you can drive, or Bluetooth where it's all in the car and you talking. And for me, it's like, wait a minute, somebody's telling you something. And it don't even have to do with me. That's the funny part. That's when I'm like, protect your energy. It could be something they're telling you that they went through, or something somebody did to them, and you listening, and then you put yourself in it. Well, why would you do that? Now you start picking apart and assisting, and you over here, by the time you get to your destination, and it's like, let me call you back. Okay, girl, I'll call you back. And you're just, wow. Man.
So question, when did you started to recognize calls like that was deteriorating your energy? Because I remember I used to take those type of phone calls. You could recognize that it affected my energy, but I didn't even know it did nothing to me.
I realized it because I didn't want to do anything after it. For example, little stuff I realized with people immediately. For instance, when we come from the gym, if we start moving around, and I don't do the cardio at the gym, we have the elliptical here in the house. So my goal is finish the machines that I want to use at the gym. I come home and then I go ahead and finish off of my cardio. When we leave the gym and we start running errands, like, oh, well, we're over here already, let's do that. Oh, we might as well go ahead and head to Pasadena. Oh, we might as well do this. And then, it's like, well, Mom, since we're over here, why don't we head over here? And we end up doing 2 hours worth of errands, and it's in and out the car, in and out the car, in and out the car. I could get home. Then when I get home, it's like, oh, man, it's 1 something. Let me go ahead and make this call because that's for Eastern Standard Time. Let me get them before they close, and let me do this. I look up and it's just like, I didn't do the elliptical.
It's 6 p.m.
Right. The elliptical was purchased for me to have the convenience of just going and getting on it. But the energy to get on it is a whole nother thing. You don't have anything, like you said, to tap into. I don't have any energy to access. It's just like, I just want to take my shower and I want to go to bed. I'm done. And then I start looking at, you start picking between the two. I got to go get on elliptical, but I do need to read my passage before I go to bed. And I did want to kind of meditate and spend some time just gathering my thoughts. So you picking which you can lend energy to. And that's just the worst, when the overall goal for me is to get it all done. And I find it's like, what did I give time to that wasn't a part of the to-do list? And that's how I start finding out. If you call me and you don't leave a message, then I'm just assuming it wasn't important. You were just calling. And if you call me, you don't get me, you can leave a message or you can text me. The nature of the call. I mean, text now, there's so many ways to communicate. I can look at that text, but sometimes if it's depending on who's calling me, I look at the top of the text, and depending on how it starts, you can see the little piece of it in the bar open. It's like, let me keep on moving, because sometimes for me, I've been told that, you're very empathic, sensitive, emotional, whatever you want to call it. It could change my life. I'll read something and it's like, what? Why would you do that? And, I'll start talking to you. So I just got this text message and I'm trying to understand why. And it's like, because I done went way left. I know you probably trying to reel me back in. And that now we done turned over to the other part of the topic, the distraction. That's another thing. Jair said it before. You never know it's a distraction until it's distracted you. Some stuff you protecting your energy and you making sure, because some people are distractions, some things are distractions, you don't even know it. That Instagram and the internet, you start.
You get to getting caught in that rabbit hole, and before you look up, it's 2 hours done passed because you looking at videos that ain't gave you no kind of enlightenment.
It's not Instagram for me. I could do it on YouTube. I start one episode or something, just kind of looking, and then it rolls into another one or a suggested thing, and
I'm guilty.
Like, yeah, here I am, or Netflix doesn't do it for me as much, but movies. If I find a good movie and I want to, I just have to make sure it's like, everything's done that I need to do before I start doing this here, or self-check. Like, do you really have the time to be lending to this right now? Really? This is what you're going to do right now? It's like, nah. But some people have other type of distractions. A friend of mine plays ball at the gym. I mean, he's been doing it for years, but I know he used to say, I go in there and it's like I'm going to run 2 games and I'm going to get out there and start my day. And he's in there, let's say 10, he can look up and easily it's 2 or 3 o'clock. Supposed to just go in there to work out, just for cardio and run 2 games. He been at the gym all day. The day is pretty much gone. You getting out at 3. And he was saying, man, that wasn't the plan to get in there. But it's because he didn't have something else lined up right after. He had that time. Yes, it's like if he has a rehearsal or something like that, he would never neglect that. That was something he had to. But he easily would say, man, that's such a distraction. Or he would say YouTube. Man, I could be on YouTube for hours. Or some people you can be on the phone with for hours and hours. That's not a big distraction for me, the phone, because I prefer to deal with somebody in person. So I say it's only so much we can talk about. And if I've talked to you as recently as, the day before, or even last week, and it's nothing new going on, why are we getting on the phone? Like you would need to text me and say, hey, I need to, talk to you, or this happened. Call me when you can. And it's like, oh, that's something new. And let me go ahead and get him a call. But distractions sometimes too. You just have to know at some point where it's like, I don't need to be here. I don't need to be doing this. I know I have some other stuff to do. And this isn't it. This isn't a part of the plan. Even with the kids, we talk about that. Just because you have time doesn't mean you have time. By saying that, I mean, just because, I've finished something over here, it's like go and look at things that you need to get done. I'm not saying it's putting yourself ahead, but that's some other stuff you can knock out. I don't mean you just jump on the phone and start talking. And I'm saying that with the kids because, I finished what I needed to do for the day. Did you really? You lending your time to something or someone it's not even beneficial in a sense. It's nothing good going on there. Yeah,
one of the best things or quotes I ever heard pertaining to this particular thing is you have to live every day like you're gonna die tomorrow, but you also have to live every day like you're gonna live forever. You know what I'm saying? And
that's not YOLO, right?
No, absolutely not. No, I mean the way I interpret that is, if you're living like you're gonna die tomorrow, that means I'm saying that in pertaining to what is it that you desire to get accomplished, or what is it something that you want to get done before you die. Everybody say they have a bucket list, or everybody has these goals and ambitions that they want to attack and accomplish before a certain day, or I want to do this before I die. And I'm not talking about the YOLO stuff. I'm talking about your goals. People say that. Well, you have to attack your day as if tomorrow is not here. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have it in your mind, oh shit, I got tomorrow, then you would do the rollover list. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, well shit, I got tomorrow, so I'll do that. But if you knew that this was the only day that you had to get everything you need to get done, you gonna use every minute in that day to make sure you got everything you got done, and you laid it all out on the field. Even if you didn't, it's like, well, man, I gave it all I had. And then the other part, living like you gonna live forever, is the planning part. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to cram everything into one day. I know it sounds kind of contradictory, but it's not. That's just to keep you in order for long-term goals. You know, you got short-term goals, daily goals, long-term goals, that type of stuff. So the live for everything is the long-term goal type concept, where you're writing those things out and you know what you have to do. But those small steps, like, I mean, we've heard Denzel say it, we've heard you say it, I've heard coaches, etc. Man, so many people have said this. You got to have your long-term goals, your yearly goals, monthly goals, weekly, and then daily. It comes all the way down to daily. So those daily goals you have to attack like you ain't got tomorrow.
The sense of urgency.
Yeah, you got to move with a sense of urgency, because if you keep moving like you got all the time in the world, you'll look up and be like, damn, whatever your craft is, you can like, it's something that I could have got done in 1 day or 3 days took me 2 weeks to do. Because I kept stretching it out, because I knew it wouldn't do until this time. Not to say that I perfected this practice, but the tendency of waiting because you feel like you have time, sometimes I feel like your work can be thwarted, or the quality of your work can be thwarted because you feel like you got time, and then that deadline creep up on you, and now it's like, oh shit, I gotta get this done. And the little tweaks and stuff that you might have seen because you gave yourself time to do it, now you don't have that time, and now you got to turn in a weak project, and then you looking and being like, man, I could have did better than that. So whatever distractions you got going on that kept you from utilizing your time appropriately and allocating your energy appropriately plays a big part in that. So yeah, you definitely gotta, like I said, with those daily goals and maybe even weekly goals, you have to attack those as if I don't have a tomorrow, because if you don't, you will see it in your work. You will see small intricate pieces that if you're detailed, you will see like, damn, I could have did that a lot better if I would have gave myself more time to look at that. That's one of the best quotes I heard in a long time.
No, that's on point. And I remember I don't even know if it was a seminar, but it was a 3-day retreat. It was a multi-million-dollar like business course. And they had you learn these different principles, spiritual and also just principles of life. And one that sticks out that this definitely applicable to this and what you were saying is like, how is somebody defeated in business, or how does the devil defeat the body of Christ? You know, how do you lose spiritually? No plan, lose focus, move too slow. And that what you were just saying about, you know, I got time in that you don't plan to like, oh, dang, the last minute I'm turning this in because you didn't allocate enough time, or you just poor time management overall. Because I know in college, you remember where they say, I'm letting you know your midterms are due. You got, and you think they're crazy to have told me I got 3 months. I mean, and you just moving. You look up and those 3 months will have gone by so fast.
Now
you didn't take no notes.
6 chapters into a week.
I remember the teacher that used to say, you don't have to come back to class anymore. I don't know if you had one of those, but it's like, you here today, whether you come or not, this is your life. This is your education. This is your money. You don't have to come back. Just make sure you pass the midterm and make sure. And it was like, ooh, man, that was the worst, because you don't give somebody like, no one man should have all that power. It was too much power for a person that you knew in college. You like, I don't have to come back to class no more. All I gotta do is pass the midterm. It sounds so stupid now that I think about it. It's like you need notes, you know, but you're a kid, you know, and you just they just hand you all this responsibility and power at the same. Figure it out. You lending your time to all type of distractions,
parties,
and coming in trying to figure. I'm so tired. Don't have the energy to go to class. I don't need to go anyway. I'll just keep sleeping. I'll sleep. They told me I just got to pass my midterm. And then you hustling as it gets close, trying to get notes from somebody, and got the nerve to be looking, you know, kind of messed up. You don't want to give me the notes. Well, why should I give you notes? I went to class. You didn't. You got to party and everything else. I put in man hours to get these notes, or to get them myself or whatever. But I can't. I mean, we would just be going back and forth. But man, protect your energy and beware of distractions.
Oh yeah, they everywhere.
Yeah. My mom say hitchhikers and hijackers. There's stuff happening all the time. You know yourself better than anybody else, and you know when you on E, start making sure you have a clear understanding, like just kind of sitting and taking in what that was a distraction. I didn't need to do that. You know, do a recap of your days and the things you didn't complete, the tasks that are still on the to-do list. Ask yourself, why didn't you get to do it? See if you find some distractions in there, some stuff you lent your energy to.
Yeah, gotta look at that film, man.
Yeah, look at that film. Yeah, go back and say, oh, I have these items all left. How did that happen? And just do a whole recap. Yeah, I started out good. I got up early. Yeah, okay, I went and got gas. And I bet you'll find a hole in there somewhere. And it's I
took an 8-hour nap.
Yeah. Or dang it, after I got off the phone with them, or so-and-so said, girl, it's a happy hour. You just come over here and sit down with us, and I ain't seen you in so long. You know, well, of course not now because it's quarantine, but start recapping your day, taking some notes, and you'll find out what's depleting you quickly. You know, what's stealing your energy and you didn't even know it. And also what's a distraction and you didn't even know it. And then you could become more efficient at protecting your energy and being aware of distractions. It's just like, no, not today. Maybe next week.
No, it's super important, but to double take on that part of saying you definitely have to know where your meter is. That's important. You got to. That'll help you tremendously to know what you need to allocate the remaining energy to and what you cannot allow to take your energy. Like you got to bow out gracefully. But if you don't know, then you'll take on something and then it'll knock you out. So yeah, that's all I got.
That's the number one job, to know yourself, figure it all out, because you got a job to do. Only you can do it too. Stuff that only you can do. So this is going to help you be more efficient at it. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how it goes. If you want to keep this conversation going, you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggested topics, you can reach us at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of it at our Instagram at realfitradio. If you're not following us, you should be. I'm depleted. You can tell. I'm tired. Yeah, I'm sitting there like kind of searching for it. Yeah. And the podcast is on
just all
Spotify,
pretty much
everything now.
Every digital platform you can think of that hosts podcasts, you can pretty much find us.
And if you can't find us somewhere, email us.
Yep.
And we'll see if we can get the podcast there. We want to make sure we're having this information accessible to you. As always, our goal is to inspire, impact, and empower. And we hope we did that for someone today. Until next time.